Okay, so first of all, congratulations on your award yesterday. That must have
Thank
been
you.
a nice little added bonus for your trip.
It was magical and a little surreal. It's quite a room to be standing in front of, but it was a treat.
Does it mean a lot to you to get these kind of things? It's important to have this recognition.
I, you know, Venice has a very special place in my heart. I think it's a remarkable place to screen films. Um, there's a generosity here that I don't think you find at many other festivals, and I think a real passion for cinema. Um, Also, personally for me, my first film that I ever directed, Everything is Illuminated, screened here and got this very warm reception. So every time I'm here, I feel very welcome, and I feel it's a very supportive and loving festival. So I like it.
And great to be here with this movie, which was fantastic. I saw it yesterday. I really enjoyed it. So
Thank you.
congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
And it's nice because it's not your kind of average sports movie. It's very different from the sort of rise to fame that we see, or the drive and the sort of mindset of most athletes that you get shown. So
Yeah.
what was it? What is his drive? What is Chuck's drive, and what was it that you liked about that sort of journey that he goes on?
I think I'm a huge fan of Chuck. He's a remarkable athlete. But I think what really compelled me about this story was the sort of the trip down the rabbit hole of narcissism. I think was really meaningful to me, and the way he does it so openly and with such innocence and kind of exquisite clumsiness that I think we all feel, but few of us have the nerve to show. And Chuck, being such a fearless person, doesn't hide from anything, punches, mistakes, failures as a human being, as a man, all of everything he wears on his face. And I admire that deeply, that I admire the humanity of a person with that kind of courage, and that kind of person is an open book, and you're able to read from and learn. And so I really love him very much, and his story.
And I mean, I've done a lot of boxing in my time. I've been punched in the face. I've had my nose broken at least twice. Had that experience of being punched
From
before?
boxing?
Yeah, from boxing.
You box?
Yeah,
Oh,
I do
fantastic.
box. Is it something that, had you been punched before this film?
Yes, I've been boxing for about 15 years. I love boxing, and not because I want to get punched in the face, believe it or not. Although in the beginning, there's a real kind of primal fear about being punched in the face that it's incredibly exciting to get past. And the first time that you're punched in the face, as you know, having boxed probably, you realize, oh, that doesn't hurt really at all. I don't know what I was afraid of. And getting through that psychological thing is a kind of wonderful metaphor for life. And I think Chuck represents that in this incredibly profound way, that he actually, I think, took great joy in being pummeled by Muhammad Ali for 15 rounds, by arguably the greatest fighter of all time for 15 rounds. I think there's character building stuff. There's clearly bodybuilding stuff in the world of boxing that is important. But I think there's also character building stuff in the world of boxing in terms of work ethic and in terms of dealing with fear that just has stuck with me and has made me keep up the sport.
Yeah, that whole fight or flight thing is very...
So powerful.
Yeah, pretty powerful.
And when you can focus and stay in the pocket and realize that often the best way to deal with your fear is to move towards it rather than away from it. When that first happens, it's a really great feeling.
And then there's also the ego side to Chuck. I mean, he certainly had an ego. Is that something? And I'm guessing as an actor, that's something you have to deal with in everyday life quite a lot. There is a lot of egos around. How do you tend to deal with other people's egos?
Well, I'm not worried about other people's egos so much as I am my own. It's if we believe the central lie of fame, which is that we're the most interesting person in the room, it quickly becomes a very lonely existence because we very quickly become the only person in the room. And that to keep that idea, that once you have children, you've got to get over that, and you've got to teach our kids to look at the world with as much wonder as the world looks at us. Otherwise, they're, pardon the term, but screwed. And I think that that's one of the beautiful things about Chuck's journey. And you see him now with Linda and his family. He's a remarkable guy who's so loving and so present. And he's because he's been through those wars, he's been through those battles, and he's, it's a terrible cliche, but he slayed the dragon, you know, and I can see it when I see him with Linda.
Thank you. I think my time seems to have run out. So thank you. It was lovely
Thank
to
you.
talk to you. Thank you.